readings this week. I'm using my Oliver Hibbert tarot deck, and I also recently got the Secret Arcana, so I shuffled all of the cards together. That's why they are not in their respective boxes. And then over on the members side of the channel, this is the blue geode that I've been using for the crystal scrying. So let's start with the earth sign of Taurus. And Taurus, if you would like, go ahead and set your intention for the reading. Allow any associated thoughts or ideas to rise up to the forefront of your mind. Just wait there gently. And if any of these things are causing you stress or discomfort, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. As you inhale, draw in divine source energy. Hold it inside of you until it permeates every molecule, every cell, every fiber of your being. And then, as you exhale, release any tension, any stress, any negative energy back to source. It will be transmuted. And I'm almost done shuffling your cards, I promise. But I have to give you the authentic experience. All right, Taurus. Let me write down your timestamp. Happy Thursday, Divine Nation. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Always, 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 always. Taurus, the first card that I have for you is the Queen of Cups. And it's in the upright. This is the card in the past position. So you could be a very nurturing person to those around you. This is water of water energy as well, which means that it's very receptive, very emotionally driven energy. You could have water signs prominently featured in your chart. Excuse me. That energy is upright. So that lets me know that it's continuing into the current environment. So let's find out some more about that. In the place of the significator, which is the main position of the reading and is an indicator of you, the querent, we have the Page of Cups. So now we're coming from this water of water, emotional energy, into this earth of water, manifesting energy. The pages are manifesting energies. So you're manifesting an emotional connection of some kind, perhaps. You could also be making an offer of some kind to another person. This could be a relationship offer. It could be a business offer as well, especially if that person is your close friend. This is crossed by the Fool card. So the Fool in the upright, because the crossing card is always upright, is this energy of moving forward without seeing what is in front of you. We do have the faithful little dog companion here to aid the Fool on his journey through the major arcana. But the main part of this card is kind of shedding all of your baggage from the past, not going into things with preconceived notions. So if you're making an emotional offer to somebody, you're kind of letting go of this very bogged down energy. Not that the Queen of Cups is a bad energy to have, but water of water energy, still waters run deep. There can be a lot going on beneath the surface. It looks to me like in the current situation, you're letting a lot of that go in favor of a simplification that will allow you to make an offer to another person. Down here in the Imam Silai, this is the foundation upon which the goal or destiny will be built. And the card that we have in that position is the Six of Pentacles. Now it's coming out in the reverse. You could be spending more money than you're making at this time. You could also be giving more of yourself than you really have available in some way, shape, or form, because a big part of the Six of Pentacles is this aspect of charity, that maybe people around you need more of you than you're really able to give at this time. But your friends will understand that, you know. Here, from your perspective, we have a lot of cups, by the way, in your reading this week, Taurus. And I heard Geminis too, so sometime maybe some of you are Taurus-Gemini cusp. We have the Ace of Cups, so you perceive this new emotional beginning for yourself. The Ace of Cups can be connection to the higher power. It can be reconnecting with your sense of self. It can be meeting new people. So we have a lot of this water emotional energy. As I mentioned, some of you might have a lot of water energy in your chart in prominent placements. I want to put on some lip gloss now. So even though you're kind of overextending yourself possibly in some areas, you're still taking part in this emotional renewal. From an outside person's perspective, we have the Empress card. This is the divine passive associated with the planet Venus. Now, I do consider the Empress to be a Taurus aligned card more so than I perceive the Empress to be a Libra aligned card through that Venus energy. The reason being that the Empress is very focused on personal comfort, and there's aspects of wealth that are implied there as well. Now, I'm sure you could make a persuasive argument for the sign of Libra being Empress aligned. If that's the case, I would love to hear your thoughts on that down in the description or down in the comments. I beg your pardon. So others are seeing you in this Empress energy, which is really lovely. The Empress is somebody who is waited upon hand and foot. As I mentioned, very comfortable lifestyle, very affluent, really wants for nothing in their life. You don't have to be, you don't have to identify as a woman to be aligned with the Empress card either. It's just a passive type of energy, a receptive energy. Very similar in some ways to the Queen of Cups, although I always consider the Empress to be much more similar to the Queen of Pentacles. Here in the future, we have the Ace of Pentacles showing up in the upright, which is a lovely card to get in that position. It shows that if this is a financial type card for you, with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, that more money is going out than is going in, that there will be a new financial cycle beginning for you soon. This can be a new job, but it can just be a new flow, a new inflow of resources. And you might already see the means by which this will occur. This might have to do with this Page of Cups, the offer being made. Here in your hopes and fears, we have the Four of Pentacles showing up in the reverse. Now, the Four of Pentacles is about conserving things. In this case, I'm getting the impression you might be afraid you're holding on to things too tightly. And this card is in the opposition position to the Ace of Cups. So you're going through this new emotional cycle. You're beginning a new emotional cycle. And if you're making an offer to somebody, you might be afraid that there's like too many expectations being put on something, or that you are that there's going to be some kind of obligation, that it's going to be too binding for yourself or for that other person. And that's going to be perceived as you holding too tightly onto things. You could just be somebody who is afraid you haven't saved enough as well. Because if you're going through this as a financial cycle, you could be afraid that you don't have enough in savings to make it through this period of time where more money is going out than coming in. So there's a few different perspectives to take on that. Here in the midheaven, this is the foundation upon which Or this is the result of this Six of Pentacles in the reverse down here. And the card that we have in the goal or destiny position of the midheaven is the King of Swords. This is air sign energy, air of air, all the little butterflies here. The King of Swords I consider to be a very Libra aligned card. So I guess I consider the air, the active energy, to be kind of counter then to the passive energies of the Empress. And perhaps that is the crux of why I associate Taurus, the passive, the receptive, much more with the divine passive card. But I heavily associate the King of Swords with Libra energy. I consider it the analog for the Justice card in the Minor Arcana. So if there is an area in which you are hoping for justice, I do believe that will be coming in for you as the final outcome to this situation. The King of Swords is also somebody who is able to navigate morally gray area, somebody who is a keen negotiator. The final outcome card for you, Taurus, and I always consider the final outcome to be somewhat of a warning or a piece of advice. And the card that I have for you there is the Three of Swords. This is a really tough energy. It's heartbreak. It is discord in your personal life, possibly. This is not outright conflict the way that the Five of Swords is. This is more like a heartbreak, more like an argument. And it is in the opposing position to the Empress card here. So while you might be quietly nursing this, remember that from the outside looking in upon you, people see this, perceive this radiant energy that is inviting and draws people in to your sphere, Taurus. I typically get along pretty well with Tauruses because I have two fixed signs in my big three, and I think that helps a lot. That is going to conclude your reading for this week, Taurus. So now we're going to move on to the sign of Virgo. And I'm just going to turn the cards over. So, Virgo, if you would, go ahead and set your intention for the reading. You can take some deep breaths if you want. Start opening up your channels of perception. Is it like this? Love for my Virgos. It's a very Virgo heart hand gesture. If there's anything about the current situation or what you're coming to the reading for that's causing you tension or stress, and you are a Virgo, so I'm sure you're totally neurotic about it right about now. I say that as a Virgo rising. I don't say that out of judgment of others. I say that out of judgment of myself. I invite you to gently breathe through those energies. As you inhale, draw in divine source energy and allow it to infiltrate every cell, every molecule, every fiber of your being. And then just release all of that energy and tension and stress out into the universe. And it will be transmuted. Okay. I'm shuffling the cards a lot. All right, Virgo, let me write down your timestamp and not just say that I'm going to write down your timestamp and then not do it like I did for the Aquarius reading yesterday. All right. So, Virgo, the card that we have in the past for you is the Five of Cups in the reverse. So, that's a good sign. It means that there is disappointment in your past, but that you are moving forward from that and moving on to bigger and better things. Here in the current situation, we have one of the secret arcana cards, which is the mushroom. And that card is crossed by the moon. So there could be a lot of things around you that are hidden at this time, Virgo. A lot of things that you're not able to perceive. The mushroom is unexpected situations, long-lasting peculiar effects, unimaginable happenings, and being guided by the stars. So there could be a lot of kind of synchronicity all coming together in a really weird way for you in the upcoming weeks, Virgo. Because I do these readings, for the most part on a weekly basis. Sometimes I take weeks off. But the energies kind of linger in the air. It's not like, okay, week's over, that energy's done. It's, these situations kind of perpetuate. And if you watch your readings over a longer period of time, you'll probably notice that there are kind of waves and trends that happen. So, unexpected things indeed with the mushroom and the moon card here in the place of the significator, which is all about you, the querent. So down in the Imam Silai, we have another one of the secret arcana coming out. And the Imam Silai is the foundations upon which the goal or destiny will be built. And what we have there is the wound. So that's a very vivid card. It's number 12, so it could be somewhat aligned with the Hanged Man, actually. Perseverance through tough trials when this card is in the upright. So you could be going through some things right now, Virgo. Doesn't necessarily have to be the worst thing you've ever gone through. Maybe that was in the past. But you could be going through some things right now that you would prefer were not happening. From your perspective, we have the eye. And the eye is about being able to see all the colors. And I know this because when I had to take a color blindness test at my place of employment, I got all of the questions correct. Can you believe it? Even the ones I didn't know very well. Now, this is about your perceptions too, and the way that you are able to open and close your perceptions. So you could be perceiving a lot right now. You could be perceiving and wishing that you could kind of shut certain things off and not perceive them also. From an outside person's perspective, looking in on the situation, we have the key, and the key is showing up in the reverse. And actually, the Secret Arcana deck comes with the skeleton key. So the key in the reverse, the key is number 10, so could be similar to the Wheel of Fortune. In the reverse, it's saying the price is too steep. So people perceiving your situation from the outside might feel like the amount that you have had to pay for what is currently going on might be excessive and something that they themselves would not have put themselves through. But I don't necessarily think that you are intentionally putting yourself through anything, Virgo. But there could be aspects of it that others perceive to be within your control, whether or not that is the case. Especially because the key has to do with holding the key to unlock the door or the vault or the locked place. So when you unlock that, maybe you get the lady and maybe you get the tiger, right? Who remembers the old O. Henry story? Here in the future, we have the Hierophant showing up in the reverse. And the Hierophant can be Taurus's card, your fellow fixed sign of Taurus. I need to separate. I need to compartmentalize better. This is the Virgo reading. This is not the Leo reading. I am a Leo sun sign and a Virgo rising. I try not to do these readings for myself. I try to do them as general readings. But obviously, I'm a little bit emotionally invested in the Leo and Virgo readings. So the Hierophant is your fellow earth sign of Taurus in the major arcana. And can have to do with things like the status quo, can have to do with things like marriage, especially the traditional comp het views of marriage sometimes. There can be situations, especially with this card showing up in the reverse in the future, that might be something that comes up for you. COMPET, for those of you who are not aware, is an abbreviation for compulsory heteronormativity, which is a bit of a mouthful. And of course has to do with like one man plus one woman equals marriage, and all babies are sacred and things like that. All babies are sacred, all fetuses. Stands to see, right? So, there could be a situation in the future for you where you end up getting married by surprise. Now, obviously, by the time you're walking down the aisle, it's not going to be a surprise, but that it might be something that you didn't foresee happening. Or it could be a situation in the future for you where you end up shifting in some way, Virgo, to better conform to the status quo. So here in the hopes and fears, we have the Six of Wands. Now you're hoping for mobility and you're hoping for victory. I see the Six of Wands as an analog for that's pretty funny, Divine Nation. I'll certainly be surprised. I see the Six of Wands as an analog for the Chariot card in the Minor Arcana. So you're hoping for victory. You're hoping that will come through. And hopefully that is not clouding your judgment, because this is the card in the oppositional position to that. Here in the midheaven, we have the High Priestess in the reverse. Now, the High Priestess in the reverse could be, remember, we have the Moon card crossing, our crossing energy for the place of the significator, what is going on currently. The High Priestess can be that cycle subverting and secrets being revealed. So not necessarily that you, Virgo, are the first person to know, because that would be the High Priestess in the upright, that you're the first one to know. But where we see this card coming out in the reverse, in the midheaven position like this, because you are going through this particular situation and bearing this tribulation with in stride, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're just pressing forward. That leg is arched, like this person is taking a step, despite the fact that they have this huge gash in their leg. Because you've been able to persevere in this situation, a secret or the hidden things that are being shown here by the Moon card, all of that is going to be revealed. The tea will be spilled. And the final outcome for you, this is kind of like warnings, advice, tying up loose ends in the reading. We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse. And remember, this is in opposition to the key in the reverse. So where others perceive that a price that you have had to pay has been too high, in some ways it is going to reduce the amount of stress and anxiety in your life overall, Virgo. And I'm sure that will be a relief to you. So that is going to conclude the Virgo reading for this week. And now I'm going to move on to the sign of Capricorn. Now do keep in mind that after the Earth signs video has concluded, I'll be going over to the members side of the channel to do some crystal scrying with this beautiful blue geode. If that interests you, you are cordially invited. But your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. So now I'm going to turn over all these cards. And we'll get started shuffling for your reading, Capricorn. So go ahead and set your intention. Just relax and allow any associated thoughts or ideas or feelings that you're having about the situations in your life that have brought you to this reading. Just allow those things to float up to the forefront of your mind and wait there patiently while I shuffle the cards. Oh yes, your Capricorn moon, of course. Now, if any of these things are causing you stress or discomfort, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. As you inhale, draw in divine source energy and allow it to permeate every cell, every fiber, every molecule of your being. And then as you exhale, just release any of that anxiety or tension or discomfort right back out into the universe. Do not fear, it will be transmuted. It won't just be floating around out there. Let me write down your timestamp. Okay. So Capricorn, let's start here in the past, shall we? With the Hanged Man, you have been waiting and waiting and waiting for something. Could be something in particular. It could be just an outcome to occur. But it looks like you have been waiting quite some time because this is upright, it's in the past, and that indicates that you're going to continue to wait into the current situation. So here in the place of the significator, we have a really great major arcana card. You do have a few major arcana in your reading. No secret arcana, interestingly enough. And quite a few reversals, actually, Capricorn. Now, sometimes reversals in your tarot reading, when you have like a lot of them, indicates that there's a lot of confusion or a lot of uncertainty or a lot of indecision around you at this time. So the card that we have in the place of the significator is the Temperance card, and it is upright. You have come to a place of mastery. You have transcended 13, which is the Death card. You've gone directly from the Hanged Man to Temperance through a process of sublimation. We don't even need to transform. We're just going to go right to the mastery of situations and the ability to balance within ourselves and without ourselves. The practice. This is crossed by the 8 of Pentacles. So this is very good for your life's work. It could be career, but it could also just indicate that on the path you have chosen for your life's work, or that is part of your life's work, that you are reaching a level of mastery with that craft through years and years of practice. Down here in the Imam Zilai, that's going to be the foundation upon which the goal or destiny is built. And the card that we have there is the Seven of Wands reversed. Now, oh, excuse me. Oh, goodness. The Seven of Wands is about having attained an enviable position and coming under attack because of that. But where we have the Seven of Wands reversed, people aren't really checking for you right now, Capricorn. People are not really asking about you, for better or for worse. You're able to keep kind of a low profile at this time. From your perspective, we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. This is fire of fire energy. And when it's coming out in the reverse like this, it's really reinforcing the idea that we see coming through from the past, that there's a lot of waiting going on. And you're wishing that that it would just hurry up and come already. Whatever it is that you're waiting for, even if you're not entirely certain what you're waiting for, you're just waiting for something to occur. Here, from an outside person's perspective, looking in on the current situation, there's this idea that perhaps you're dwelling too much on the past and that you're not able to move beyond that as a result. So, what could be holding you back in this whole process is thinking too much about the past and being unable or unwilling to move forward into the future, looking forward. Here in the future, this is a very interesting card to get there, because what we have is the Three of Cups and it's showing up in the reverse. Now, the Three of Cups is typically a card about lifelong friendships, close emotional bonding with other people. So, not necessarily like love relationships, although it can be. It could be your polycule. I certainly am not one to say what a relationship should look like. However, this card coming in the reverse in the future, you could be making a whole new group of friends moving forward. That this is really going to transform your social groups. Or that you could be leaving a very close-knit group of friends behind. That you don't expect that to occur. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Ten of Cups, and it's showing up in the reverse. So you could be, again, because this is in the opposition to the Knight of Wands reversed, you're kind of waiting for an emotional conclusion to something, and you're waiting for an emotional cycle to end. So this could be breakup that needs to happen. It could be the ending of a friendship or breaking off ties from a close-knit friend group. That needs to happen for you to move on. There's some situation where emotionally you're dwelling too much on the past, perhaps. And you're kind of waiting for that cycle to end, whatever that is. Now, here in the midheaven, this is going to be the result of you having kind of a low profile here in the Imam Silai. We have the Sun card coming out. Now, the Sun is always a good card to get in your reading, even if it's in the reverse. It just means that everything's going to be almost perfect, but there's going to be like one or two things going on that you're like, I really wish that this particular thing wasn't happening to me in particular right now. That there are going to be things about the situation that are a little bit tricky or difficult, but that overall it's going to be a very good situation. And your final outcome card. So this is the advice or warnings for the reading, kind of tying up any of the loose ends that we have left over. And the card that we have coming out there is the Magician in the upright. Your powers of manifestation at work. And this is in opposition to the Six of Cups in reverse. So you might be able, Capricorn, to use your powers of creativity and manifestation to manifest the future for yourself that is going to help you move on from this tricky situation. That you're going to be able to manifest that for yourself, but it's more like a manifestation process and less of an emotional process for you in particular, Capricorn. So that is going to conclude the Earth sign readings for this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much to each and every one of you who watch my videos. Whether you come for the live streams and participate in the chat, or just watch or like the video or watch it later, the timestamps are always down in the description after the live streams have concluded. Whether you subscribe, whether you share with your friends, or comment on the videos, all those things are greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your